Professional estate agents in Malaysia plays a crucial role in safeguarding the public's interest and enhancing marketability. At the same time, they must adhere to regulations protecting consumers, resolving disputes, leveraging market expertise, and employing effective marketing strategies. Some of the challenges faced by them are economic uncertainties, tightening bank loan, technological adaptations, and regulatory compliance, and intense market competition. And we're ready on the line with our guests to help us understand on this situation. Here is Mr. Siva Shankar, the CEO of Estate Agency of Rahim & Co. International, Sdn Bhd. I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Siva, for joining me. Firstly, talking about this, we want to take a look on the safeguarding the public interest. Maybe you can share what are the measures do professional estate agents in Malaysia take to ensure they are safeguarding the public's interests?
Right. Hi, good morning, and thank you very much for having me. Yes, so today we are going to talk about the very interesting subject of real estate agents in Malaysia. So for a start, the things that the government has put in place is for every real estate agent, for every practitioner of real estate agency in Malaysia to be registered. So they all have to be registered with the Board of Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agents, and Property Managers. Now, this is a statutory board that comes under the purview of the Ministry of Finance, and every single practitioner must be registered with this board. No exceptions to the rule. If you are practicing real estate agency in Malaysia, you have to be registered with them.
And Mr. Siva, how do estate agents balance their fiduciary duties to clients with the need to protect the public?
Yeah, okay. So that's this is a very fine, thin line that we need to navigate. It's not easy to represent both sides. We have to, and on one hand, take care of the interests of the client. On the other hand, worry about ourselves as well. I think that comes with a lot of practice, training, and education. So gradually you learn how to navigate that line, and then you find a balance that works for everybody.
And can you provide examples of how estate agents have successfully protected the interests of buyers or sellers in the recent transactions?
Okay. You see, the Act itself is more than 40 over years old. It came on force in 1981, so it's a very old Act. But every estate agent has salespeople who work for them, and these salespeople are called real estate negotiators. Up until 2013, these real estate negotiators were not registered with the board. Only the estate agent was registered. And in 2013, the board started a massive exercise of registering real estate negotiators. So that practice, that registration exercise has been ongoing for 12 years now, 11, 12 years now. And we have categorically seen the number of complaints that is forwarded to the board and sometimes some of the other associations. We have definitely seen a significant decrease in those complaints, which actually goes to show that that registration exercise and that training and education that has been practiced for so many years now is slowly gaining traction and bearing some fruit.
And adding value to a project's marketability, in what ways can estate agents add value to a property's marketability, and what strategies do estate agents use to enhance the appeal of a property to potential buyers?
Okay, I think estate agents are really the experts, the forefront of sales and marketing, and in many cases, you know, I'm not saying that the developers don't do a great job. They do. They're fantastic marketers themselves, but getting an estate agent on board, I think, helps you to enhance the marketability of the property, because the estate agent usually has a big giant database of potential clients and buyers that he can go to. And when you appoint an estate agent, they can reach out to this huge database. Also, because estate agents deal with purchasers on a daily basis, every single day we're talking to purchasers. I think estate agents have an acute understanding of what the purchaser wants, and sometimes we are able to structure a marketing strategy that will, enhance that experience.
And how important is local market knowledge in increasing a property's marketability?
I think local marketing knowledge is the be all and end all of a sale. If you're trying to sell a house, say for example, you're trying to sell a house in Kapong, and if you don't understand the Kapong market and you have no knowledge of how the Kapong market behaves, it would be to you really like throwing a dart and hoping it hits the board. But if you have local knowledge, if you understand how the local market works, I think you're able to sell it much better. Which is why the most successful real estate agents and real estate negotiators are the ones who specialize. So they either specialize by location, by a certain location, or they specialize by a certain strata of property. And then they do really well because they become experts in that location.
Mr. Siva, we also want to take a look on regulatory and ethical considerations. What are the key regulatory requirements for estate agents, especially in Malaysia?
Well, the key regulatory requirement for estate agents, number one, is to adhere to this, which is the Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agents and Property Managers Act and rules. And then they also have to adhere to the Malaysian Estate Agency standards. Now, these guidelines very clearly spell out what the estate agent is allowed to do in practice and what he is not allowed to do in practice, how he's supposed to regulate his work, how he's supposed to show professionalism, what he can do, what he cannot do in advertising, how much he can charge fees, and what his duties are to the client. So as long as you adhere strictly to the Act, the rules and the standards, you will be pretty much on the right track.
And how do these regulations help in maintaining ethical standards in the real estate market, Mr. Siva?
Because every estate agent has to be registered with the board, and then so they are bound by law to follow these the acts and the rules and the standards. And if they don't, and if there's a complaint about them and that complaint is investigated and found to be true, they can be subject to some major serious trouble, which could be as simple as a fine or as serious as having their registration struck off the roll, which means they now lose the ability to practice estate agency in Malaysia.
And what role does the Malaysian Institute of Estate Agents, MIEA, play in ensuring ethical practices among estate agents?
MIEA, the Malaysian Institute of Estate Agents, is one among several real estate related NGOs. And I think what they and the others do is really promote ethical standards. They do a lot of training, they do a lot of education, they run courses, they run seminars, they run practical training courses for both estate agents as well as negotiators. And I think all these courses, all these trainings, these continuous professional development classes help raise the ethical standards of real estate agents and negotiators in the country.
And we also want to discuss on challenges and opportunities, Mr. Siva. What are the biggest challenges faced by estate agents in Malaysia today, and how can we learn from other countries?
I think one of the biggest challenges that faces real estate agents and negotiators today is the scourge of illegal estate agents, which are all over the country. And although the law very clearly says that if you're not registered as an estate agent or you don't work for an estate agency and are registered as a real estate negotiator, you cannot transact real estate in Malaysia for a fee. And the penalty is very severe. It's 3 years in prison and $300,000 in fine. But unfortunately, there is a big gap between the law and the enforcement of the law. So I think that would probably be the biggest threat that estate agents face in today's market. So we got to narrow that gap, and we got to try to have more enforcement come on, so that we can, if not eradicate completely, at least vastly reduce the number of illegal practitioners. I think we can take a leaf out of Singapore. Of course, Singapore is very, very efficient at enforcing rules and laws. And I believe in Singapore, there is practically no illegal estate agent. Nobody practices who is not registered, because I think the law comes down on them hard and fast and quick.
And one of the most important aspects, also we're talking about digital, how technology has evolved also with digital marketing and online property platforms now being integral to the property industry. How has this impacted estate agents' ability to remain competitive, and what strategies are they using to adapt?
Technology has changed the way everybody lives, not just estate agents. Everybody. I mean, we're doing this interview amazingly through technology, and everybody in the country sees us loud and clear. So technology has evolved so quickly. I read an article that said that in the last 10 years, there has been more technological changes than in the preceding 100 years. And what I think is the next 1 year is going to be, there's going to be more life-changing experiences than in the last 10 years. So estate agents have had no choice but have been forced and pushed to adapt and change. And I think we've done a wonderful job. I think most estate agents now have cleverly adopted technology, and they are on social media. They are on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and they have a presence there, and they've embraced artificial intelligence. They know how to do remote viewings now. Many things can be done remotely. So I think we have done really well in adapting to ourselves to this difficult situation and embracing technology rather than fighting it.
The increasing integration of technology in property transactions, where do you see opportunities for estate agents to differentiate their services and create more value, especially in areas like customers' experience or even property insights?
I think if you do not embrace technology, and if you don't have a digital presence, if you don't have a strong digital presence, I think you're going to lose out. And one of the things that you can do if you have a very strong digital presence is, I think you can attract overseas clients, you can attract foreign clients without ever having to meet them in certain instances. Previously, if we were Jago Kampung and we were champions in our own country, the digital advancement has allowed us now to become regional, if not global players, because we can promote our property to the rest of the world fairly easily, and we can perhaps attract those potential buyers and potential clients from overseas. Much of the work can be done online with digital viewings, with online viewings, and perhaps maybe just the last part of the transaction, you may require the buyer to turn up in Malaysia. So that digital platform, that technology now enables us to become something that we could not have been 10 years ago.